That's kind of what we left up with right here today. And we got it cleaned up real good on this side. Has some of that rusty metal primer on there. Yeah, we'll put a couple more coats on there tomorrow. Put a little oil on that cleaned up part on that center right there. Yeah, we'll say it, Bapo Russ done a great job on that little project right there. For real. I probably should go ahead and I bring up this fuel pump right here. Now that right there being one of them fuel pumps that if you went to the store, go back in the history and time past ago, if you went to the store, had you bought an International or McCormick Daring Type M engine, this fuel pump being 1.5 horsepower, some years later, early ones had a different type. Time goes by, your fuel pump goes bad. You go to the store up there to order you a new fuel pump. This right here is what you would have got. They were listed in a catalog. The silver part there, being an AC brand. That was special built part, not International. The other parts were International parts. AC only supplied about half of the mechanism there. Just saying. We'll break one down. We'll get one up there and break it down. I'll show you how we go about it. Break it down. You know, I will get this on that engine over there probably tomorrow. That's kind of the way the things put together. That's kind of the mechanism right there. I got a new diaphragm in there. New little pocket seats in there, 2 new springs. Some brass bolts to match the engine. New glass filter there. New old stock bell. New gasket. That's part number right there. As you see. It's not unusual to find an engine with one of these fuel pumps on it at auction sale, yeah. Now y'all leave a comment now. Subscribe. Pass it on to a friend. A little sketchy right there. On up to that. Prop it up on the bottom, front end, back side. Lined up to and fro. A little bit too short. I believe we'll be able to get the job done. Roller for 1.5 horsepower on a rear end. That's all we're making right there. A little showpiece, nothing more. And we'll go over and face that off on the other side there. That's the engine part right there. Well, take a note, looking at it down that way right there, you can see that I done made that roller wheel right there for that lobe on that cam shaft. Made that out of brass. It's got a pin that goes through there. You know, got a hole on that other end down there where the pin goes down through it to capture it. Made that push rod there. So it's brass. And then the whole setup, you know, once you get it on the engine, it looks like that right there. You know, that was one of them fuel pumps that. It was one of them fuel pumps down in there that was a replacement fuel pump. And we get a little touch-up paint on that. It's got a diaphragm up in there. AC brand, AC logo on the brand name. There's some more brass parts up there, you know, added to it. Trying to maintain the every nut and bolt on the engine would be brass. And you see I have some work left to do to build them brass parts for that bottom of EK right there. You know, bend over a piece of metal and put a bolt through it. You know, still get that done. You know, looking at it that way right there, that's what you see. Yeah, just saying. That's a 1.5 horsepower M right there. McCormick Deere, that EK mag here. Right there is the way that front end ended up as painted, assembled. That's to the wood skid supports. Now I get them 2 cotters in there, get it down off the workbench. Watch this. Something for it'd be something for that blank page in your book. Take note on this. EK Magneto timing mark on the flywheel, timing mark on the crankcase of the engine. Both those marks are readily visible. No doubting that. To correspond into the degrees of the crankshaft rotation in relationship to top dead center, then that gives you where the timing is set at. Doing the calculations there. Also noted on that side cover plate, there's there's 2 lines on them side cover plates on that eccentric right there. Okay, them 2 marks right there. If you're checking the timing on your engine, this one being a 1.5 horsepower McCormick Deere M, if you're checking the timing and you come around there like that right there, when the engine, when you're timing it, you put this starting lever down on run, and you turn it around on the compression stroke, and then them 2 marks right there will be in line with the bottom of your EK Magneto up there. It'll line up. So watch this. Taking into consideration camera angle and all that right there, we'll do that. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's coming. You feel that compression when I come around there? Did you sense that it wanted to kick back a little bit? That's compression. Okay, when this mark right here comes right straight down right here to line up with that right there, that EK is supposed to trip at that point. And if it does, then you've already timed your engine. You can move on to something else at that point. So taking into consideration, what's this? Okay, did you hear that Magneto trip? And take a note, them 2 marks right there. If you put a straight edge up through yonder, it goes right up to where that oil hole is on that EK, confirming that your gears are set correct inside the crankshaft. Also, the ignition part right down there, put your degrees before top dead center about that much right there, being that that would be the top dead center. So you're that many degrees before that being adjusted with this spring mechanism at this point. I'm just saying once it starts and running, and we'll move that handle up there like that on that. And then at that point, you know, if you study about it, once you got your mechanism set, then you'd come over here and you'd come over here and you would move that lever up to the start. Okay, now you can proceed to start the engine. Timing should be just right. Okay, once the engine starts, then you move it back down here to that, and it'll run. That switches that timing back, does that to it. So the way that works. Well, oh, you hear that suction on that intake valve? You hear it? Okay, see, I got a bounce right there. So it's coming up on compression. When this gets down at the bottom, remember, okay, did you observe what the reason that it came past? It's this much around by the time it tripped the Magneto. Oh, okay. To check the timing, you put down here. Now, when you come around, okay, it bounced back, so we're on compression, so we just follow on through. Okay, you see where it tripped at? Right on it, right there's the mark right in there, and right there's the mark right there. So we're good to go. Every time it's right there. So that's the way you time this is McCormick Deering with EK. International, same way. Flywheel engine, they refer to them. Now y'all leave a comment there. Got it at an estate sale by auction type of thing, I think it was. But where we're at today, what started as a simple thinking that it was the governor butterfly up there in the bottom of the mixer there that was, and it was put in, it was not right, but that led to backtrack on the operation of the governor, not knowing what the prior builder, like I say, this is exact condition as it came to me with no history at all. So tracing it back to this point, we'll get to the flywheel there in a bit, but the problem up to now is this governor rod. This governor rod right there that this fork mounts to operate this part right here. That'll be on there like that, and this right here be down yonder. It's the way it works. On this one, serial number indicates it being a early year production of 19 and 19 by the serial number tag on the hopper. So, and that being that, I was going to replace this one. I have a replacement original one. But when I started to put it on the governor shaft there, the hole is different. So somewhere in the life of this engine, they welded on the front end up yonder to a 9/16 inch rod right there. And then they drilled this out to match it, and drilled those two bushings out, and drilled that front bushings out. So at this point, we pretty much have to make do with what we've got, or drill out original one. And I'm not going to go that route. You know, I could bush them three right there and put original signs back in it easy enough. But as we get along with the engine, you wonder what condition was it before that the person that fixed it up, and I think the gentleman passed away, and then it was an estate sale that the engine became available. So, you know, we don't know what experience level that the other owner had. And that's what led to the failure here.